Chalito Araujo was known as Chalito, and basically, this 19-year-old was on the front lines during the Civil War that erupted within the Sinaloa cartel in 2008. While still a teenager, Chalito was already leading hit teams and doing hits for the top bosses. He was known and feared, and during the Civil War, Chalito was on a rampage. His crew were always armed to the teeth, and in plain English, they were always ready to dump a drum at the drop of a dime. They would go out in several bulletproof SUVs and hunt El Chapo's and El Mayo's people in Culiacan and the surrounding outskirts. When confronted, they were known to shoot on sight in plain daylight. Even the cops were on their hit list. They made it known that anyone going against Arturo was an enemy. It is said that even El Chino Anthrax was afraid of them, and he was on the run, specifically because of Chalito and his crew. El Chino was sleeping in different houses, trying to stay one step ahead. Also, Manuel Torres Felix was one of the main capos that fought Los Charritos' crew for control of Culiacan. Chalito's crew was known as Los Charritos, which refers to the traditional Mexican horsemen from Jalisco, although the Charritos were all from Sinaloa. In 2008, Alfredo Beltran was captured by Army Special Forces in Culiacan. The story goes that Arturo Beltran, older brother of Alfredo and the boss of the Beltran Leyva cartel, blamed El Chapo and accused him of giving up Alfredo in exchange for El Chapo's son Ivan being freed by the government. The Beltran Leyva brothers went to war against their former partners, El Chapo, El Mayo, and Ignacio Coronel. The cartel split. Some people stayed with the Sinaloa cartel, but others decided to stand with their compadres, the infamous Beltran Leyva brothers. Chalito was one of those gunmen that stayed loyal to Arturo Beltran. Chalito's father was the known and feared gunman, Chalito Araujo. Chalo had worked for El Mayo for years. He led an enforcement squad and had countless city cops on his payroll. But in 2006, El Chalo made a grave error when he killed a close compadre of El Mayo. El Chalo was a highly respected sicario, so for that reason, El Mayo gave Chalo a choice. Either you kill yourself, or we kill you. Chalo ended up shooting himself in the head at his home in Culiacan. The tragedy left a bad taste within the Araujo family, who felt Chalo had been loyal and risked his life for years for El Mayo, only to be abandoned like nothing. After his father's death, Chalito Araujo switched over to work directly for Arturo Beltran. Arturo and the Araujo family were close, and so Arturo took Chalito under his wing, and Chalito was now tasked with enforcement duties. So when the Civil War broke out, Chalito declared his allegiance to Arturo and went to town on Chapo and El Mayo's people. It was easy for Chalito to go after El Chapo and especially El Mayo. Chalito had now forgotten how his father met his demise. In one famous incident, members of Los Charritos were located by federal police in a safe house in the neighborhood of Las Vegas, Culiacan. The gunmen immediately began firing at police, trying to break into the house. The gunmen inside placed a call to their boss, Chalito. Chalito gathered 3 other gunmen, a couple AK-47s, and a duffel bag full of grenades. The crew jumped into their armored Jeep Cherokee and sped off to rescue their crew. As soon as they arrived, they began to spray the cops with automatic fire and then began throwing grenade after grenade in order to push them back from the house. Then Chalito hit the gas in reverse and rammed the SUV into the garage, creating an opening for his gunmen to board the vehicle. In a legendary move, the Chalito managed to save his crew from arrest, or possibly worse, because those same federal agents were actually on El Chapo's payroll. Those Charritos had become a real problem. They were doing brazen hits on El Chapo's people especially. Not even the cops on El Chapo and El Mayo's payroll could defeat Los Charritos. On December 16, 2009, Chalito was with Arturo Beltran the night his condo was raided by Mexican Marines in Cuernavaca. A furious shootout began when Arturo's men noticed strange movements on nearby streets. Chalito was one of those gunmen that was with Arturo. Chalito was firing an AK and throwing grenades, alternating between the stairwell and firing out the window towards the Marines down on the street. Finally, after 2 hours of fighting, Marines had reached the front door of the condo. It was during this exchange that Chalito was hit 3 times by Marines. Contrary to photos that circulate the internet showing Chalito's body on the grass outside the condo tower, it's not Chalito. It's actually one of his crew members who was known as El Rojo. There is something to be said that Arturo, who a week prior had barely escaped a raid at his mansion, was now being guarded by his most loyal sicarios, the infamous Charitos. After their deaths, the Sinaloa cartel bosses relaxed a bit, because Chalito was one of those people they gave it Chapo and then Mayo's people nightmares. That's why when people today reminisce about Chalito Araujo and los Charitos, they say he was the terror of Culiacan.